Everyone, it's Andy here, and I am delighted to share that social media analytics is now available in Adobe Express. All right, so here we are within the schedule area, so we can plan and organize our social media content. Now we'll see the analytics tab here. Just a note, however, that analytics is provided by a third-party add-on called Metrical. Metrical's offering is incredibly generous. They're used by millions of users as well. I've been using them personally for the last 8 years maybe, and they are wonderful. One of the best analytics products for social media I've personally ever used. So when you click this, you'll then be asked to add the Metrical add-on. So no commitment at this point, you don't need to do anything. When you press add, you're all good. So now you need to sign in. If you don't have a Metrical account, you can create one for here. Just note you can analyze one single channel of one brand for free, which then creates a pretty incredible proposition. Now you can use Content Scheduler to schedule content across multiple channels for free, and you'll be able to analyze your content for free too. However, just like with Content Scheduler, if you do want to add, multiple Instagrams, for example, because you have multiple clients or brands you're looking after, Metrical follows a very similar pattern, and that will require payment. So just so you're clear on that. But anyway, once you sign in and you authorize your account, it's going to look like this. At the top, we've got a broader summary around all of our different accounts that we have connected. So what we can do here within these 3 lines here, we can look at our connections and we can choose what accounts we want to connect. As you can see, there is a very wide range, which includes some of the channels we don't yet allow publishing to in Adobe Express, which includes like Threads or Google My Business, YouTube, that kind of thing. You'll notice that you can also analyze the performance of your paid ads as well as performance of your blog and website. So you truly can track all of your digital marketing activity in one single dashboard. So that is incredibly powerful. So I've just connected some of my social channels here just to kickstart with. Let's just go back to analytics here. As I said, summary is great to give you an overarching view as to how you're looking across all of your channels, where your growth is coming from. You can look at impression growth, follower growth, numbers of posts, and as we scroll down, we'll also see a list of posts. This is really helpful when we look at top performing content. What are the things that moved the needle for us overall across all of our channels over the last week or month? We can choose the temporality just here. But we can then deep dive into the specific channel metrics. I'm actually going to look at LinkedIn here. So here we can see the number of posts we published in that day with follower growth. I find this a really useful overlay because then we can see how was follower growth impacted by our posting volume, and what did we post, on this day where we suddenly saw a rise of followers in that day. We can then interrogate that. So let's look at April 16th. And we can also go in a bit more detail. We can look at overall growth, what happened over the last month. We grew 214 followers. This is how many we're growing per day, how many impressions we're getting a day. A real nice top level summary as to how we're doing. So what days are we growing our followers? Like April 17th was really good. So let's look at what we did April 16th, 17th. That potentially drove that. Followers by country, by area, by industry, so we can truly understand whether we're targeting the right people. And then we can look at posts specifically. So what are the things that drove the engagement? So here we can see a big spike in impressions, for example. Again, that April 16th day was a really good one. So let's go ahead and have a look into that in more detail. Again, we can look at overall impressions as well and look at our interactions. So the amount of clicks, shares, posts, ultimately what action people have taken on our content. So now if we filter this out, we can look at what happened and filter by impressions. You can see this April 16th post. This is the one that drove that big impression growth and also resulted in a whole bunch of new followers. So this gives us a really nice clue as to the content that works really well. So we can click to view, we can see it directly on LinkedIn as we want to. So it's kind of meme orientated content that works well. This then gives us some clues as to what we want to build in future to help build on this success to drive a more successful social media strategy. So this is really powerful. The list of posts I absolutely love. Okay, it's also very important for you to note that even if you don't schedule your content with Adobe Express, all of your data will come in here. Even if you post everything natively, you don't use a scheduling tool, don't use Metrical to publish, don't worry, because all of your content will come in here anyway. So this is your analysis irrespective of where and how you publish content. That's a really important point. All right, and then finally, let's go have a look at two things. So let's go to Instagram, because not all channels offer this, but if you're posting on Instagram, I absolutely love this. Again, you'll see demographics, posts, account level details, specific interactions or specific data related to Reels, I should say, list of your Reels, the stuff that's performed really well. And here we can look at competitors. So you can put in a number of different competitors here. So then you can look at how do you stack up against them. And you might not just think about this as competitors. You might want to think about this as others and peers in your industry that are doing really well that you want to learn from. So here you can add them in and you can track their growth too. Again, giving you great inspiration to build on your content strategy. And final piece, which is everyone's favorite, I would say, we can now easily export all of our data in a PDF or a PowerPoint file. So here we can just choose the metrics and the channels that we want to get the data from and choose the metrics that mean the most to us. We can brand it and customize this report and then save it as a PowerPoint or PDF. You could even bring that PDF or PowerPoint back into Adobe Express to do some extra fidelity of, adding your brand elements, adding additional design controls, that kind of thing. So lots of capability now. We can analyze our data, understand the things that are working, and allow us to build on success. I really hope you find this new update useful. As you can tell, I'm really excited about it. I'll speak to you all soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.